Yo, what's up, everybody? Here we go again, the PPP Show. Now, we missed y'all last week, but we back this week, and we have a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. So, my name is, of course, President Dante, and we have
Popcorns and pajamas, but y'all can call me Popcorn, whatever. It don't matter. Call me. I've been called so much stuff. It is what it is.
Hey, so we're gonna let her start off because today we put a show together, and you just want to see how organic we work together. Nothing's been rehearsed, just going to be straight off the cuff. So you're going to get it raw. If we have some mistakes, guess what? You're going to see them, and this is how we're going to learn, and this is how we're going to grow from our what you call hiccups. So I'm gonna turn the floor over to her and let her run with it.
Okay, look, listen. Look. You know I like Thomas Sowell. If you don't know, I like Thomas Sowell. I think everybody should read his books, look at his video, even if you don't agree with him. I think you should watch him because he's a very interesting person. But my question to you is this, because and I couldn't wait to ask you this question. Now, Thomas Sowell was talking about white liberals. He was talking about white liberals and Democrats. And he said that white liberals, he said the left like to use the black communities as trophies and mascots. He said you see it mostly doing political politics, in politics. He said they like to use them as mascots and trophies. So my question to you is, do you agree with that? Do you think that the white liberals like to use blacks for mascots and trophies? They use them a lot doing politics?
Absolutely. I mean, if you notice that every election year you hear, people like Joe Biden, even Kamala Harris, because I don't even know if she's black. Hillary Clinton, they always talking about, black people, what's going on in our neighborhoods and, how they want to help us out. And then they'll trot out somebody like Lizzo or Beyonce or Jay-Z or something like that, and once they get the vote, typically the Democrat Party kick the black people to the curb until they need to vote again. And this is why I don't do white liberals at all, because they think they know the best for everybody. They think they know so much. And I think a lot of them think because they have a degree that makes them smart. But being able to recite something and to be able to do something like training a monkey, no pun intended, doesn't mean that the monkey is intelligent. It just means that it was taught something, it learned it, and it was able to repeat it. So, white liberals, you already know how I feel about them.
I know, that's why I couldn't wait to ask you this question. But let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
This is another part to this question. I got another question for you too. But he also said that white liberals try to pretend they care about the black community with this urban renewal. He said, but what they're doing is moving out the working class. I'm sorry, Dante. I'm sorry about that. He said what they're doing is moving out the working class families and building homes and businesses that they can't afford. But they pretend that they're looking out for them with this urban renewal. Do you agree with that? Do you think they're really pushing the working class people out and building homes that they can't afford, but at the same time saying, we're building up your community. We're doing this for you. We're building up your community. Then they building these homes that you can't even afford.
I mean, yes, I totally agree with him on that. Because the thing is, like what Malcolm X said, that these white liberals, they're foxes. They look at you, of a fox. If you run into it, look like it's smiling at you, but it's ready to attack. Full of rabies. A whole lot of things that can actually make you sick or actually take you out. And this is what's happening to the black community. You have a lot of white liberals telling them what's best for them, knowing that most times it's not going to work out the way they say it will. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of us as black folk, sometimes Latinos, we don't do our due diligence in our own research to find out if those things are accurate or not. Then you have people like Mr. Thomas Sowell that will give you facts, and people will say, no, he's, carrying white supremacy talking points, or he's saying stuff that's, right wing, but what he's saying is making sense because he come from a time in the era, I believe he's like 92, 93. I mean, he's up there in age. He will know. He would know all the things that have taken place in this country and been able to see the changes that have been implemented by white liberals. I believe at one time he said he was a Marxist, so he would know.
He was. And I think that's why I like him, because he's like on both sides. He's seen this side of it, and he was like, "Wait a minute, that just went too far." And now and that's why I like him so much. He can kind of tell us from both sides of it, and I think that's why I like him.
Right, absolutely. I like Thomas Sowell, and then the thing is, he's from my great state of North Kakalaki. Yes, he moved to New York, but he's from my state. even though I was born in South Carolina, I still consider this my state. I've been here most of my life. So North Carolina, it is, which they're trying to turn blue. Because all the people,
they trying to turn a lot of it blue.
Yeah, and I heard about this Texas thing of how there's so many registered voters and how they even have, Caspers, if you're getting what I'm saying.
Absolutely. But listen, let me ask you this right here. Now, this right here, I definitely want to talk to you about this. And I know you're going to go deep into this. And I love it. I'm telling you, yep, this is why I'm bringing it up. Now, do you think there's an attack on Christians, attack on people who believe in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in the United States of America? Do you think we are under attack? Those of us who believe in God, because I believe in God. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all know I'm a sinner. I'm still working on me. Stop playing. But do you think that there's an attack on people who believe in God, on Christians in this country? And I'm gonna follow that up with something after you answer, because I had to ask you this question.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to understand that a nation without morality or principles, and God is really what give a lot of us our morality, how to treat people. When you read the stories of Jesus and you look how he prayed for his enemies, he loved his enemies, he forgave them. If you can remove all that, now you can replace it with hate. Because when you love people, you'll tell them the truth. And that's one thing that Christ did. He would tell them, like the woman that was caught in adultery, she said, look, I ain't going to accuse you and I ain't going to condemn you, but don't go do that no more. Clean that up. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, we don't want to hear truth. And so when you give people this, as you would say, this beautiful lie, then it actually makes it worse. You know what I'm saying? So yes, an attack on Christian beliefs is an attack on God. No, this nation wasn't, and I hate to hear people say this nation was founded on principles of God. That's not all together true. There were people here that believed in Christianity, just like you have now. You have different types of religion. They want to get away from the crown and be able to practice whatever religion they wanted to, which in this country you can. You could be a Muslim, you could be an atheist, you could be a Buddhist, you could be whatever you want to be. But if you notice, the only ones that are getting attacked these days, and which make me think is more valid than any other quote unquote religion, is because we can get attacked all the time. But you dare not attack a Muslim. You dare not attack the Buddhists. Muslims is like a no-go. And then look how they're treating people.
You better attack the Jewish community.
Exactly. And look how they're doing with Palestine and Jewish communities. If you say anything at this point in 2024 about either one of them, they will counsel you. It's sad.
Absolutely. And I wanted to ask you that because and the reason I wanted to ask you that, because you do a lot of videos with Reverend Wooden, who I love. Jennings, I love them. You know what I'm saying? And what I like about them is you might not like the deliverance, but I think the deliverance to me is perfect, because stop with all the political correct junk. Tell it like it is. And I know I get a lot of comments back on my TikTok page about this way I say stuff, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have time to I never sugarcoat the stuff. If you see my niece and my son right now, you meet them, they would tell you I never sugarcoat stuff with them, because the world not gonna sugarcoat stuff with you. So I don't have time to hold your hand and sugarcoat everything with you. When you get a certain age, it's time for a reality check. I can be sweet to you while you're a child, but when you start being a teenager and an adult, it's time. The whole hand of time is over. You know what I'm saying? But I love how he just had those videos and how you respond to them and you talk about things, and then it goes back to what Jesus Christ told us. Because you always talk a lot about false prophets too. And Jesus Christ told us in Matthew, many will come in my name, but not all the workers of me. Right. We're false prophets. He tell us this. He tell us that, at the end time, we're going to get attacked and go hiding and stuff, because we follow him. We say we're followers of Christ. And it's so sad. And I wanted to ask you, and like he said, we're going to have wars and rumors of wars, which is what we have all the time. Yeah, right. We have all the time. But I wanted to ask you, what made you, because I'm not saying that you haven't always believed in God. I know you have. You like me. What made you get so deep into it like you are now? Because I love to have this conversation with you, because no, seriously, I do. That's why anytime when I have a video and it has something to do with the Bible or whatever, this him. He gonna tear this up, because I love how passionate you are about it. Like, I believe in God. Don't get me wrong. I believe God. I keep telling y'all I'm working on me. I believe in God, but I also know you a little bit more calmer than me, because I might go a little bit left, a little faster, whatever. But what made you so passionate about it? Because you're passionate.
I'm passionate about it because I know the things that I went through in life, and I know when I prayed and I seen God change some things. Like, I used to be about it. Like when I tell you, like every word that would come out of my mouth would be foul, and I prayed about that because I didn't want to diminish my message by using those words. And sometimes some people may say they're warranted. Like you need to understand this is what I mean. But I knew that I wasn't doing the right way. Then it was the coming through the molestation and stuff and seeing how God healed me in that area, then just being raised in it, and studying for myself and just starting to see the word come alive, because it was like a lot of people was telling me about the word, but I had to get into it for myself. This is why I believe the Lord wants us to get a relationship with him personally. And I always trying to get a relationship with God through other people. But once I started doing it on my own and started reading the text and realizing, the things that Jesus did for us that he didn't have to do, because if it was up to me and I knew these people was going to spit in my face, it was going to denounce me, I promise you I would have came off the cross. I wouldn't, nah, we'll start over, Lord. We'll start over because these people are so disrespectful, but because of his love for us. And it doesn't matter what kind of sin we're in. And that's why I think a lot of the LGBTQ community get it mixed up. God is love. Yes, he is, but God is also a God of truth. And so when you tell people the truth, people feel like you don't love them. My mom used to tell me, and I know you probably heard it in your family as well, that when people go hard at you and they tell you the truth, it's because they love you.
They love you.
Because if they let you go out here and drink and smoke and get behind the wheel of a car and don't say anything, that doesn't mean they love you. If they love you, they would take your keys. They would tell you, sit your behind down. You ain't going nowhere. Sleep it off. But some people now feel like, well, they're grown. I can't tell them what to do. It's their body, their choice, their life. They can do what they want to do. And then that person end up hurting themselves, or somebody else typically is the case. And then they want to play victim. So again, when it comes to God, I'm very passionate about God. Because I just know for a fact if it wasn't for him, where I would be. Do I get it right every day? No. I mean, there's some things I still pray about, but I'm just saying that even with my mom, losing my mom, God proved to me again it was real, because I thought that I couldn't live without my mom. I felt like if my mom died, just put me in the ground with her. And there's some days I do have human days and struggle and miss my mom, but the love of God and people like you that encourage me and and just rally around me, let me know, hey, you're still needed here in the earth. God left you here for a reason. It blows my mind. And I would say this, and I yield back, is that the video you sent me of Jaden Ivey, the basketball player, I couldn't do but smile the whole time, because I was like, this young 22-year-old man is talking about having a relationship with God. He's not talking about going out here sleeping with women. He's out here talking about, going out here to shoot his op. He's not saying none of this stuff. He's trying to put you in a positive way. And I think that if you could take anything from Christ or the Bible, look at the positive stuff that comes out of it. Yeah, there's some things that's in there that people may say, oh, that's harsh, but it's life. You had to spank your child at one time. I mean, did you want to? Probably not. But sometimes the child needs spanking.
And they still do.
They need a whole lot of spankings these days.
But the Bible tells us that if you love your child, you're going to chastise them. You're not going to let them go out there and just go around. You know what I'm saying? The Bible tells it. And it's a big difference between abusing your child and disciplining your child. Right. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think they still need it. I think if more children got spanked, forget the timeout, John. And I know every child is different, because some children you can't do timeout. My sister was a person, I think my mom probably gave my sister a whipping, a spanking, whatever you want to call it. Probably I could count it on my hands, but me.
How many days you got a whooping?
Man, in the 8th grade, I got a whooping every day. Literally every day. My mom would tell me, and I kept telling her, I won't get the whooping if you stop beating me home, because I'm supposed to be home at a certain time at the cheerleading practice to come straight home. Child, please, that wasn't gonna happen. I kept bugging myself. I remember my mama told me, as long as you want them, I'm gonna give them to me. I was like, I don't want them, you just give them to me. But yeah, but let me tell you this. Because that thing people tell myself, well, if you whoop your child, they grow up violent and hateful and they hate you. When I tell you, me and my mama relationship was so close. So close. I'm going to give you a quick story. When I got ready to dance, because remember I told you I danced at Magic City. When I got ready to dance, the only person I called was my mom. I didn't care what nobody else had to say. I truly didn't care about it. I remember I called my mom and I was like, Mom. And look, I had already been working there 2 days as like a waitress, but I didn't tell her, right? I said, Mom, what you think about me working at this club called Magic City? And she was like, you talking about that adult club downtown? I said, yeah. She was like, well, no, I don't think you should do that. And I was over her house at the time. I was sitting there and I was like, darn. because I was already there for like 2 days, right? And about 10 minutes later, she called me back. She said, I know my child. She said, if you asking me that, you already there. She said, I just asked you to remember how you was raised and remember who you are. And once my mama told me that, I didn't care what nobody else said. My mama is what my mama felt about me is what mattered. I'm being honest. Right. And when she was like, yes, and I'm just saying that to say, and she told my boy up when I was in the 8th grade. You know what I'm saying? I think the last time my mama whooped me, y'all finna laugh at me. I think I about in the 10th grade. My mama still told my butt up. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Come on, really? Are you for real right now? But yeah. And it wasn't so much as a whooping as a couple of hits, because I kind of my mouth. But when I tell you, me and my mama had the best relationship. I appreciate the way my mama raised me. I truly do.
Absolutely. And I agree with you on that. Like, getting the spanking when I was coming up, I used to get a lot of them too, because my mouth, I was always, if I felt something, I'm going to speak it. And that didn't work. And being a male child and my mom being a woman, as I got to a certain age, the whoopings didn't really faze me because I got tough. So you could hit me. It didn't really hurt me. I didn't cry. Mm-hmm. So she said, oh, I know how to hit you another way. She started taking things away from me. At one time she was giving me an allowance. She stopped giving me the allowance.
Yeah.
Things like that would make me.
My mama did that, y'all. They are true.
It made me reconsider my actions. It made me think before I acted. And I think that's what's going on with a lot of these young people now. They don't have any consequences. So they don't even think, they just act. They just do what they want to do. Nobody's going to, say, well, this is wrong. And then if they're wrong, the parents in these days, they come out to defend their child when they're wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, no. See, we old school, we Gen X. Our parents, we was wrong. We was told we was wrong. The people down the street would tell us we was wrong. Everybody told us we was wrong. And it made us better people. I'm not a violent person by any means. Now, I'm the kind of person, if you bring it, I give it back. But I'm not the person that start anything. I can't say that. Well, I've changed. Because back in the day, if you said something to me crazy, I will pop in your mouth. But
yeah, we all changed. Now, and I remember I used to try to beat my mama home and catch the phone when I knew I was in trouble. Shooting me. I used to be trying to beat her home, so when that phone ring, I can catch it.
Now, see, I think that's why I kind of like my mom. She worked second shift. So when I would get home from school, she would be at work. And if they would send a note home, I would sign it because I learned how to master her signature. So I would sign it myself and turn it back in. And then when my mom had to go up to the school to talk to the teacher, she'd be like, well, I sent these letters home. My mom be like, what letters? I've never seen no letters. Yeah, because I already signed them and turned them back in. But, me and my mom, like you, we had the greatest relationship. And, it made me love my mom more. And I even told her at one point, you should have spanked my behind a little bit more. Maybe I would have turned out a little bit better, just maybe. I don't know. But spank your kids. I don't think that you hate your kids. I think that's a sign of, hey, you went too far and the talking is not enough. So I'm about to give you a reminder that, there's some pain behind this consequence right here,
Yeah. Absolutely. But let me tell you this real quick, and then I'm gonna let you, we're gonna go to your question. I remember my godson. I got 3 godsons. But what my first godson, him and my son, like a month apiece. He's a month older than my son. Now, when I used to keep him and my son was so bad, I used to tear those butts up. You hear me? I ain't even play with him. Stop it. But I remember when he got about like 16 years old and we were talking. And he had got into some trouble with his mom, and his mom had called me over there, and I went over there because he used to talk back to his mom. But when it was so funny, because when I got there, it was like totally different. He didn't disrespect me at all. And so I asked him one time, I said, do you think I don't love you? He said, I know you love me, because I was getting on him about something. He said, I know you love me. I said, well, how do you know I love you? He said, because you was the only one that gave me a whooping, then nobody else gave me a whooping. He actually said that to me, and I was like, wow. But his mama didn't believe in whoopings. And now that's a whole nother story, but yeah.
Right. I feel you on that. I mean, when they get older, like I tell people all the time, keep living. That's all I got to do is keep living. You realize that, hey, some of these things you got to go back and say, Mama was right, Daddy was right, Auntie was right. I should have listened. You know what I'm saying? Then we try to tell other people that they don't want to hear it. And guess what? Some of these people got to learn on their own, just like we did.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Come out with their mind in the right place. Hopefully they can come out with, not on drugs and stuff like that. Because like I say, some of the stuff that a lot of us have gone through, we should be on wine and drugs and everything else. But, like I said, that's why I equate things to God, because half the stuff I've been through, I should have been 100 about it, But, thank God, for a good family and a good mother, especially my mom.
And it makes a difference. It makes a difference.
It's a big difference. But I do have some videos I want you to check out. It's so funny that we kind of switch roles today. Normally, you're talking about politics, and I'm talking about the Bible, and now we don't switch roles. See, this is how many of us do, and the thing is, like I say, this ain't planned. We just run it off the cuff, and I think that more people need to do this more often. Just talk, and I think in a week or two, we're going to be doing a live. So we want to get y'all in on it as well, where everybody can, talk. And even though we have the StreamYard, y'all know I can send out links and bring people in the panel too. So just FYI, popcorn, we can bring other people with us. So, and have people in here kind of like the TikTok world. But like I said, we can bring them up and, they have a question for us. They can come up and ask the question. We can answer the question. Then we can bring them down just like on TikTok. This particular feature that we have here. So, that'll be something coming down the road. Not saying that's going to happen.
I don't know nothing about it, but I'm with it. Y'all stop playing with me. When I tell y'all I am when they talk about people ignorant, I'm ignorant to a lot of social media, but I'm learning. I'm getting there.
Hey, but see, I'm the younger part of the Gen X.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that said, I was in the phase when all this stuff was coming in. That's why I tell people, like, if the 40 Gen Xers, we're like the bridge that could bring both sides together.
The millennial.
Yeah, because
y'all in between the millennial and the Gen X, so y'all kind of in the middle.
Right, and that's why I said we like the bridge. And I'm like, if you really want to know what's really going on, talk. I almost said something. Not all of us, or some of us got ADHD, but
what you talking about? Some of y'all, half of y'all. I don't know what happened with so many of y'all. Been born with ADHD and ADD and DHR and all that. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. I be like, Lord help them.
And the funny thing is, Popcorn be saying something, and she be serious, and I be cracking up. She be looking at me like, "What is so funny?"
It's sad. I'm like, Lord. Put their name in the cursive, they can't see their own name. You write their name in the cursive, they're gonna be like, who named that child? That is you, honey. That's you, Lord. Just sign the X. Don't even try to worry about writing your name. Just sign the X and we'll keep it moving. Lord help them. I'm just saying.
Oh God. Okay.
Hey, it is sad.
Get yourself together now. Get yourself together. Hold on. So Popcorn. So what I have here is a video. This is going to be a man on the street. His name is Nick Shirley. Shout out to him. He's going to be asking people if they're going to vote for Biden or Trump. And each person, I'm going to stop when he gets to asking them the question, and then you give me your commentary. That's okay. All right. So let's go.
Biden,
because of what he's done.
What has he done for America?
Oh, come on. He saved the country from the economic mess that Trump left with, infrastructure was a big thing that Trump said, I'll get this infrastructure thing done. He never did. Biden did.
So do you think Joe Biden was put in a bad spot when he came into the presidency with
Yeah, it was horrendous. It was a horrendous, entry. He had a lot to deal with, and he's dealt with it very well.
And so 4 more years with Joe Biden would help the country get back into a better place?
I think so. Otherwise, 4 more years of Donald Trump, no.
What do you think is going to happen if Donald Trump gets put into office?
I can't imagine. I don't want to imagine. I'm actually looking to buy something out of the country in case that happens.
Really?
Yes.
What would be your big fear if Donald Trump gets put and elected back into office?
Well, my biggest fear is, he'll just end democracy.
Really? You think he'd become a dictator in America?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
With Joe Biden, a lot of immigrants have came into America. What do you think about the migrant crisis here in the United States?
Well, I think that it is a problem, the migrant crisis. But, Biden was supporting the Republicans and the Democrats came up with a plan, and then Trump squashed it, was opposed to it only for political reasons. So if you're really concerned about the problem, this bipartisan bill was an answer.
Why is it not getting pushed through? What do you think?
Well, because Trump told his Republicans, his MAGA Republicans, not to pass it.
So do you think Trump's part of the problem here of the border crisis?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Did you know that a lot of cartels and a lot of people are making lots and lots of money off the migrant crisis. Do you know that each person that comes through the border is paying anywhere between $3,000 to $10,000?
Absolutely. It's terrible. It's awful.
Do you think any of that money is getting put in Joe Biden or Gavin Newsom's pocket?
No way.
You don't think it's possible at all?
No, I don't.
Then why do you think they want to keep it going? If like more and more people are suffering and cartels are making tons of money.
They don't want to keep it going. When you say they, who are you talking about?
Joe Biden, the government.
No, they don't want to keep it going.
And this year we'll be having a...
All right, so we're going to go ahead and oh no, I hit the wrong thing. There we go. So floor is yours.
First of all, he ain't going nowhere. Let's just stop that lie. Let me stop that lie. If you go and find that man 2 years from now when Trump is in office, he's gonna be still here in America. Talking about he's trying to buy something out the country. He ain't going nowhere. So let me put that out there. First of all, I don't know other country want him. I don't want to meet him, but he ain't going nowhere. Let me put that out there. Now he said that Joe Biden is cleaning up the mess that he got when he came into office after Trump. Let me say this because I'm so tired of that lie. When Joe Biden got into office, it was during COVID. The economy and everything was shut down in 2020 because of a pandemic that we didn't know was coming. Well, some people might have, that we had, and everything was shut down. Business was shut down. People couldn't go to work. Business was shut down. You couldn't go to school. You couldn't go to the grocery store. You couldn't find anything on the shelf because businesses were shut down. Let's be for real. And let's not forget what AOC said. We got to keep the country shut down. If this is what it takes for us to get rid of Trump, true people losing their jobs not going to matter. Let's not forget that now, because we're not going to let these lies just slip by us. So to say that Joe Biden came in from the mess that Trump left, no, Trump didn't leave a mess. The economy was shut down because of COVID. Now let's fast forward to when Biden got in office. They're trying to act like, well, you know, Biden got in office and he brought all these jobs back. Stop that lie. Pump your brakes with that lie. What happened was jobs that was closed down during COVID was recovered and people went back to work. They're trying to add those recovered jobs from when people went back to work from the pandemic as if Joe Biden created some new jobs. And half of the jobs Joe Biden did create are part-time jobs with no benefits or anything on them. So let's just be for real about it. So I don't know what this man is talking about. And I'm going to go back as far as this. When Trump was in office, you can get I don't know if I know of nowhere else, but you can get a 2-bedroom apartment in Atlanta when Trump was in office for about $1,300. You get a 2-bedroom apartment now in Atlanta, you paying $2,000. And that ain't got nothing to do with your water bill and your light bill and your all the other bills. So to act like Joe Biden is doing this great job now when things have tripled, when you're paying $600, $700, $800 more for an apartment that you were paying the same apartment you were paying 4 or 5 years ago, $1,200, $1,300 for. This man is out of his rabbit mind. And at some point, these people got to start. Let's go to the next video. Okay.
Hey, so what? I have 2 little questions I want to ask you real quick. What do you feel about his statement of Trump being a dictator and ending democracy?
Okay, first of all, we are a constitutional republic, but you know, if you say that we're a democracy long enough, then we're free. Can I say this? I pledge allegiance to the flags of the United States of America and to the republic for which we stand. It doesn't say democracy. Democracy is nowhere in the Constitution. Democracy is nowhere in the Bill of Rights. Democracy is nowhere in the Pledge of Allegiance. But of course, if they say that we are a democracy long enough, everybody believes it. People need to know that we are a constitutional republic. We are bound by the laws of the Constitution. We have our God-given rights, and the Constitution upholds them. So let's put that out there, because I'm so tired of this. But let me go back for a minute to something on top of the fact that he ain't going to leave. He said that Trump's going to be a dictator. First of all, this is America. Ain't nobody finna allow that. Ain't nobody finna allow Trump to be no dictator over here. I mean, and I'm a Trump supporter. I am a Trump supporter, but ain't nobody finna allow Trump to be no dictator. If Trump don't get himself, well, he didn't say it, so I can't even get mad with him. But Trump is not going to be a dictator. If Trump wanted to do all the stuff they act like he's going to do, he would have did it when he was in office for those 4 years. He was in office for 4 years. There's things he could have done that he did not. One of them he should have done was lock Hillary up. I'm just going to be honest with you. But he didn't. Don't always leave your enemies out there, because your enemies will come back to bite you. And she was an enemy, and he should have took care of that. but he did. Some things Trump should do, he didn't do. I'm gonna just be honest with you, in my opinion. In my opinion. Now I want to talk about this border thing because he talking about the border problem is Trump's problem. Poor Trump get blamed for everything. You hear me? Trump, if it rains tomorrow, Trump gonna get blamed for it raining out there. It wasn't gonna rain. If Trump wouldn't have walked outside, it wouldn't have rained. That's what they gonna say. But they talking about the border crisis. Let me say this right here. Because of under Trump, well, we had 1.8 million people came across the border. We've had over 8 million come across this border under Joe Biden. Then he talking about, well, you know, they didn't pass that bipartisan bill because Trump told his Republicans and his mega people not to pass it. First of all, give us a standalone bill. Don't give us a bill that have 900 other things in there and you give it to them at 2 o'clock in the morning to read and they got to sign it at 7 o'clock in the morning. Get them a standalone bill, let them vote on it, and keep it moving. Because all this money for Ukraine and all these other people, when you got people over here starving, can't pay their rent, homeless people, you got the veterans who have fought for this country who's not getting anything. You got senior citizens who has put into this country, can't even get $10 worth of food stamps. Give us a standalone bill. Stop that. But this is my thing right here, and I want people, this is why people need to learn their Constitution. Because the Constitution, Article 4, if I'm not mistaken, tells us that the president has the right to protect. Matter of fact, he has a duty to protect all 50 states from an invasion. You don't need money to send nobody down there to that border to protect your country. The Constitution gives the president that right. So to say you need all these millions and billions of dollars to protect the border, and Trump told him not to pass the bill. You don't need a bill to pass this doggone to take care of your border. And then if you felt that way, why was you letting it go for 3 years? The only reason Joe Biden is trying to do something about that border right now because it's a big thing with people out here when it comes to voting. And it is what it is. Let's just call a spade a spade.
I agree 100%. 100%. And what did Joe Biden say about during the pandemic about people keeping the shelf stocked?
Joe Biden said the reason he can keep going to the store because some old black lady, this is exactly what he said. He said some old black woman, because some old black woman keep the shelf stocked and I can find what I want. But let me say this right here, because people get on my nerve. People get on my nerve with this. Joe Biden ran on, I'm going to get rid of COVID. That's what Joe Biden ran on. He was going to get rid of COVID. That's what he said. But if you look it up, more people died up under COVID under Joe Biden when he had the vaccine than with Trump when it first came out and he didn't know nothing about it. But they don't like to tell that. Everything is always blamed back to Trump. It is ridiculous.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep. Absolutely right. Let's go back to these two.
Oh, right, Lord, help me. I already see what these going just by looking at them.
Election between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Who are you guys going to be supporting?
That's a difficult question because I feel like it's picking lesser of two evils. Me personally, I think my vote will go to Joe Biden because I just stay voting Democrat.
What do you guys will think will happen if Donald Trump wins again?
I have no idea, but at this point, I don't think it's lesser of two evils. I think they're both equally as evil. I think we've seen now, especially with everyone's stances on Palestine, the fact that we're just allowing a genocide to happen, they're both just as bad, I think.
And what do you guys think about the current state of America right now?
Well, I think, first of all, we're focusing on the wrong problems. Like, I know that they're trying to, ban TikTok right now when there's so many other problems in our country, like the migrant crisis, inflation is going crazy, people can't afford college tuition, and I think that's way more important than focusing on some stupid app kids go on.
Who are you voting for in 2024?
I mean, I never voted before, but hands down Trump. I want Trump in office, feel me? I feel like he has a great mind. I feel like when he was in office, our country was doing all right. It's not what it looks like right now.
Yeah, what's the current state of our country right now?
Open borders, more crime. His city, Trump is from New York. This city it's a shithole right now. Let's be real. Let's be real with everybody.
Yeah, what's it like living here in New York?
I don't know. You know how it is. New Yorkers, we're proud to be New Yorkers at the end of the day because there's no other city like this. No other city can compare or contrast to this. So to see the state that it's in right now is almost insane. Our own homeless population is on people my age, 22. I'm 22. I know I look older, but I'm 22. I see people my age on the street right now, and they can't get into shelters. It's ridiculous.
Does that make you mad that what's happening with Joe Biden as president?
I think you could tell. It makes me mad. For the most part, you can see a difference between Trump and Biden.
So right now in New York City.
Let me stop right there. We'll come back to them. So I had those two together. I kind of ran them into each other because I didn't know it was going to come up that quick. But how do you feel about both of those segments with the women? And then as you see most black men, you see how we're sliding more to the right. And these women specifically said that inflation, they're talking about the border crisis, but yet they still want to vote for Joe. Now, one of them said they were, but the other one said that both of them are evil. And I can respect that. If you, instead of saying one is more evil than the other one, okay, see it the way you want to. But how do you feel about that particular segment?
I'm not surprised that the women were voting Democrat. I'm really not. And it's sad because I'm a woman, and for a lot of times women vote on emotions. We don't sit back and look at politics or what's going on around us and what's better for us and what's better for our family. We go on emotions. And I'm going to be honest about it. A lot of times women vote on emotion. You can tell a woman, I'm going to give you an example. They taking away your abortion rights. All of a sudden you in your emotions. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they getting ready to take away your Section 8. You in your emotions. You see what I'm saying? So that doesn't surprise me. I'm be honest with you, it don't surprise me. I think more of us as women, and I'm not saying all of us think like that. I'm not saying all women, because I'm definitely not going to group all of us together. But a lot of women, especially the younger generation, they go on emotion because the Democrat Party can play on their emotions. All they got to throw up is race, abortions. They trying to take this, they trying to take that. They're not going to do too much research on it. They're just going to go with it. Like this young lady just said, she said inflation is bad. She said rent is bad. Now I agree with her, it's more things to worry about than taking TikTok, because there's so much other stuff going on in this country and you're worried about taking TikTok. But Joe Biden is one said he can't wait to sign it. But you saying all this stuff, but then you still turn around and say you're going to vote Democrat. It's sad. Now the young man, I agree with he was right. He was right. Like he said, look at when you got so many homeless people, like he's saying, 22 years old. 22 years old, and they can't go into a shelter, because let's be for real, they can't get into the shelters in New York because illegal immigrants are there in there. He didn't say it, so I'm gonna say it for you. All the illegal immigrants are there. So you're pushing out the citizens of the United States of America, and you're putting people in there who even shouldn't even be there. So I agree with him. Yeah, vote for Trump. Vote for Trump.
What's so amazing is that this dude is a black guy from New York, and he called his city a S-hole city. Now, when Trump said that about these countries or whatever, and some countries are SO countries. Let's just keep it real. I mean, and it doesn't, because they made it about race. And then you say it's like younger people. No, it's some older black people. Jay, you know what I'm talking about? What's his name? Oil Spin, and what else? It's a lot of them that they're older. They're the same way, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's not just the younger people. It's just that Democrats, they play, like you said, they play a good game. They know how to play a good game.
They do. I gotta give them credit for it. They do. They play a good game. And Republicans, if y'all listening to me, y'all better, Trump, you need to call me. Stop playing. Give me a call. Y'all need to call us, because y'all need to get on the game, because y'all don't know what y'all doing. I'm just being honest. It is what it is.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to move forward.
The past 3 years since Joe Biden's been presidency, a lot of things have changed. What have been the main changes here in New York?
Well, you're looking at it. The migration, the population has swelled with homeless and now with illegal or non-credentialed migrants. The crush of people on the resources of the land is telling. On the other side, the compassionate side, New York is a place of immigrants. Our whole history here before Biden has been immigration of all types. And I believe this one day will be something that we're going to solve by inclusion, not exclusion.
We're going to have mainly two options, Joe Biden and Donald Trump this year. Mm-hmm. Who will you be voting for?
I don't want to say yet. I'm on the fence.
On the fence?
Yeah.
Who are you leaning towards right now?
I have a Democrat background, history. The people before me, my elders, voted Democratic Party. But really, I'd like to know if there's a progressive, maybe a Kennedy, somebody who has other ideas. I'm looking for that. Okay. I think I'll say that. I'm on the fence with either one. I actually don't You might be surprised. I wouldn't. Trump would be great. I think the American people are getting exactly who they want. And now God help us.
Pay close attention to this lady because at the end of this video, she's going to be sharing a shocking story about who she's voting for in 2024. Who are you going to be?
Okay, so we're gonna come back. So, what do you think about that particular segment there?
I agree with him. I think the American people got exactly what they wanted, Joe Biden, and this is what those of us who did what the Bible tells us: the sun gonna shine on the just and the unjust alike. Those of us who didn't vote for this crap, we're still getting hit with it. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with him. You are getting what you vote. You got what you voted for. Now, I don't know how old this gentleman is, because he could be younger than me. I don't know how old he is, but he said his ancestors. Then he said his ancestors voted for Democrat. Now, let me say this, because if people think all blacks voted for, like I said, I don't know how old this man is, but he look like he's got a pretty good age on him. If people thinking before the Civil Rights Act, because blacks need to know that we were able to vote after slavery. After slavery, we were able to vote. Our voting rights didn't start when the Civil Rights Act. We were able to vote before the Civil Rights Act. Our voting rights was taken away from us from the Democratic Party, who put in all these literacy tests, and you got to know how to do this, you got to know how to do that. But before that, we were able to vote, and blacks were voting Republicans. The majority of the blacks were voting Republicans. I think the first 8 or 9 senators, black senators they had, was part of the Republican Party. But he said that his ancestors grew up, his ancestors voted Democrat. So I guess because your family and your grandmothers and that make you automatically have to vote Democrat. And it's sad. It's sad to me that you cannot think for yourself. You can't not say, well, you know what? Maybe the Democratic Party is not working for me. It might have worked for you and what you got going on, but it's not working for me. But because your ancestors and everybody else voted for them, you automatically have to vote Democrat. And that's why I get attacked so much about being a black woman. You're voting against your best interest. You're a black woman. You're a sellout. You're a coon child. Call me whatever you want to call me. At the end of the day, you still gonna call me a Republican, because that's who I'm voting for. It is what it is.
And see, that's why I was trying to tell you, like most black people, we voted Democrat blindly because we felt we was black and we had to. When most of us that come from, low income neighborhoods, let's put it that way. That's what we was taught. The neighbors, taught. And when they voted Democrat. But then once you start moving out of those areas and start, realizing that this is not working, then you start changing your mind politically. And that's why, like my mom, once we got out of that neighborhood, she always was a conservative, but she leaned more right. And then she kind of pulled some of us along with her, and there's some that's just stuck. And like you say, we got to leave some people behind. I'm not going to waste my time keep on trying to get these people to see it. I'm not saying the Republican Party, I say it all the time, is the end all be all. But what I'm saying is break up the insanity. Stop doing something, hoping for different results, knowing you'll get the same thing that you've been getting. And so at least let's give the Republicans a chance and see if we can hold their feet to the fire. And maybe, just maybe, we may get something out of it, but we'll never know. We never try. And that's just the way I look at it.
I'll be honest with you. If they had a conservative party, Republicans wouldn't get not one vote from me, because I would vote for that conservative party. But because they don't have a conservative party and the Republican Party more aligned with my belief, that's why I vote Republican. You know what I'm saying? That's why. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I ain't never vote for no Democrat, because like I told you all the time, I voted for Bill Clinton his first round. Because I agree with his don't ask, don't tell. I agree with him. Welfare to work. And I was like, well, I can get behind him. So it's not that I don't listen to both sides. It's just that most of the time, what I align with is the Republican Party. So yeah. But just say that, my mama voted Democrat and my grandmama and my great grandmama, so I ain't got no choice. That's sad to me.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, that's why I say, in a way, like people, they mad at Trump. But in a way, a lot of people are becoming more, politically, I would guess, knowledgeable, because they're having to do research and find out things. Because I know for the Black community, and somebody like yourself that's always been into politics, you may say, well, this is like second nature to me. But like people like myself that had to kind of learn, they like what the Democrat Party did, what the Republican Party did, it started to open your eyes to things. It's like, wait a minute. That's why I'm so vehemently against the Democrat Party now, because I'm like, y'all never meant us any good. Y'all came from the party of slavery, Jim Crow, the Triple K. Y'all did all this stuff, and then y'all try to put it on the Republicans. Y'all
Yeah, because they say the party switch. They try to say the party switch.
And which the platform never switched. The way voters vote, we're doing it now. It's like right now you have a lot of people moving, some people moving over to the right. It doesn't mean that the platforms change, it means that people are voting differently.
The way people start thinking and seeing things, they change, you know. Right. And let me tell you this real quick. I remember my son got ready to be 18 years old. He was getting ready to vote. And I had my finger, eyes, and toes crossed that he vote Republican, but I couldn't tell him how to vote, you know, because he's young. So what I did, I wrote down things that the Democrats believed in, things that Republicans believed in. And I wrote on the back, Republican, Democrat. And I told him, I said, check out everything you believe, you know, whatever. And he checked out a couple of things, the Democrats. And when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, Lord, don't tell me I raised a Democrat. But he was checking out some stuff, right? So I was looking at it, I was like, Lord, help me. But then when he started reading Republican, it was like, check. So I told him, I said, well, flip it over. When he flipped it over, he said, Mama, I'm a Republican. I said, yep. Because I let him make that choice of what you agree with and what you don't agree with. Because I didn't tell him all day long, this is this, this is this, this and that. But I did him the same way my mama did me. My mama did me, my sister, and my brother the exact same way. So, you know how they say when you get older, you start acting like your parents. So I guess you do. Because I did my son the same way. You know, but yeah, make your own choice.
But there was something that because the way he was raised. See, the thing is, most of us are, we kind of vote typically the way we was raised, things that we see in our households, right? So if you always seen victimhood in your household, the Democrats come and make you a victim, guess what? You're going to lean that way. But when you grow up in a family that say, hey, you're a survivor, you're strong, you can make it against all odds, that talks more like the conservative or Republican, you lean more that way. And that's what I begin to do. I'm like, wait a minute, I believe I'm a survivor. I can do anything I want to do. That racism is not as bad as they saying it is. Yes, racism is a thing. I'm not stupid. I'm not naive. But to make it like, oh, the big white man, white supremacy is going to get me as soon as I step out the door, that's not the way I think. But why am I voting Democrat? Because this is not my reality. So again, I'm with you. If they had a different party other than Republican, I will vote for the conservative party, because I will tell people all the time, I'm a conservative.
I'm a conservative.
That votes Republican, if that makes sense.
And so am I. No, it do, because we don't have a conservative party. Right. If there was a conservative party, trust me, if there was a party that was conservative party, or if there was an independent who was running, who still thought the things that I thought stuff, I would vote for him. Right. Over the Republican Party, I'd be like, oh no, I'm finna vote for this person. Like JFK, I'm sorry, not JFK, Lord help me. Yeah, RFK. Listen, he's running independent. I would not vote for him. First of all, I don't like his progressive VP he picked, and he's too much to the left for me with some things that he's saying stuff. Now, and I do like some things he said, but I can't see myself voting for him. But if it was somebody that was independent who was like, had the same view stuff I had, I wouldn't vote for the Republican. I would vote for him, But there's no conservative party.
But RFK, the reason why I don't trust him is because
he's a Democrat.
Exactly, because he was forced to be an independent.
Exactly, he's a Democrat.
Joe Biden and the Democrat Party said, "Oh no, sir, not over here." You know what
he's
I'm saying?
A Democrat.
But that's the reason why I don't trust him. Now, if he was like somebody like Tulsi Gabbard, that if you look at her voting record, even when she was in Congress, she voted more conservatively. That was mad at her because it was like, basically you a turncoat. You always voting in line with Trump, even though she was a registered Democrat. But now she's an independent, and I could trust her a little bit more because she's proven her ideals. The way she's talking has always been the same. She was the one that called Kamala Harris out during the primary debate.
Even though I had been telling y'all that, y'all never listen to me.
But see, I didn't even know, you know what I'm saying? Because at the time in 2019, when it was doing debate, I was still watching the Democrats primary, because I was still, even though I'm like, well, maybe I might vote for a Democrat this time. And believe it or not, you will probably laugh because this is something I never told nobody. But I was leaning towards Kamala Harris. No lie. No lie.
I'm gonna check my phone down.
I'm not lying, because when
she check my phone down, everybody you saying it.
No, because when she told Joe Biden off on stage, that time
about him being a segregationist.
Right, when she called him, I was like, I like her. I'm feeling her. But then I kept watching. See, they can have good sound bites. They can have, because everybody, like you say, a clock can be right to
twice a day.
Twice a day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I'm looking at it like she might have hit it right, but I was like, the more I looked at it, I was like, nah, I can't vote for her. And then I was just like, no Democrat up there, especially pushing all this basic socialism. I was like, nah, I can't rock with y'all.
But she sure called him out being a segregation. But this what got me. She said, I'm not gonna call you a racist, but you was a segregation. Wait a minute, what is a segregation if they're not a racist? I don't know. I'm just asking. You know, I've been out of school a long time.
Right. And I got one more person, one more clip of this video I want you to see.
Okay.
Because I'm going to take some of it out because I don't want to make this too long. But
okay.
Hold on a second.
And really talk to many people. It's more of his thoughts of what he wants to do.
With the election coming in 2024, what do you think is going to happen?
We're going to have more problems. We're going to have problems. I don't want to say because it would probably be biased, but I like Trump. Like, Trump is definitely a wartime president. He not about to play games. You know what I mean? And he gonna make sure we good.
So do you feel more protected underneath Trump than you would underneath Biden?
Biden's family feels more protected under Trump than they do Biden. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. Like,
on top of all this, what do you think about the migrant crisis and everything that's going on here in New York City and then in the Bronx and in America in general?
They said Biden family feel more protected up under Trump than they do Joe Biden. Oh my God! That you know what? That should be Trump. Trump need that. Trump need to use that as his doggone part of his campaign.
Right. When I saw that, I'm gonna tell you something. I say that's why I started hitting my earpiece. Like, listen.
Trump need that as part of his campaign, baby. Biden feel more safe up under Trump than they do Joe Biden. He nailed it. I like him. I like him. If I wasn't married, I'd give him my number.
What is Byron gonna think about that?
Oh, I'm gonna keep Byron. Anybody that give me no Byron gonna be there. They're gonna have to understand that. Now it is what it is. You gonna be gone before Byron.
Oh God. Okay, let's finish this.
Honestly, people should feel safe, right? However, we gotta clean up our own backyard before we can help somebody else clean up theirs.
Remember this lady from earlier in the video? Now she's gonna tell us who she's voting for in 2024. What about you, ma'am? I see you're listening here. You're listening to us talking. What do you think about what's going on?
Well, I voted Democrat for decades. And then at a certain point, I started saying to myself, why do we still have the same problems that just like perpetuate in our cities? And I really got frustrated with the Democrats, and I basically walked away. So I don't know if you know that walk-away movement. So I kind of tuned into that. I can't vote Democrat anymore. And I'm not saying one day, if they clean their act up, I'll go back. But no, then I looked into things. Like I looked into Donald Trump and finding out more about what was really going on with him, and got beyond the media and just, I'm a Trump supporter. So, and I don't support Biden at all. And I don't know. These Democrat-run cities are I don't know. There's so many problems that need to be cleaned up.
Do you think there are a lot more people like you who were once blue and that are now turning over to red?
Well, I hope so. I mean, I know that I've come across many of them online. A lot of people are, waking up, getting frustrated with Democrat policies, and I hope that Trump wins in 2024, and the divide between the Republicans and Democrats is so great. It's kind of scary because we don't know,
Do you think if Trump wins, we could see an uprise from the Democratic people, and if Joe Biden wins, do you think we could see almost like a civil war coming from the Republicans?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, but this country, I think, is in crisis.
Thank you so much for watching.
Okay, so
wow.
Yeah, I didn't even see that part. So she kind of blew me away a little bit too. Wow. So with her, she said she walked away. She couldn't do it no more. But that last part, do you think? Because he asked the question, do you think that if Biden wins, that the because they always want to go to January the 6th. But do you think that that would happen, or vice versa? What do you think would happen if either one of them win?
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I think if Biden win this election and people already feeling like what happened 2020 happened, they're already saying that they're letting illegal immigrants vote. They're saying that they're putting the illegal immigrants in red states to try to turn them blue. Honestly, I don't, no, it ain't gonna be no January 6th. January 6th wasn't there. That's some bull crap. I think, I don't, now let me go to this. If Trump win, the Democrats gonna act a fool. They gonna burn the United States down. They
love to burn.
They gonna burn this country down, baby. I keep trying to tell y'all, if you don't have your 2A, listen, your Second Amendment give you the right to protect yourself against anybody, even a tyrannical government. You better get your 2A, because you're gonna need it if Trump wins, because Democrats going to burn this country down. But as far as if Trump wins, if Biden wins, I'm kind of 50-50 with that, to be honest with you. Because I do think it's going to be some people out there that's just not going to take it this time. They're going to be like, no, especially if they feel like this election was stolen.
Right.
If they feel like it was a fair election, which I pray to God it be a fair election, which I kind of don't think it is. But because it's not a fair election already, because they give illegal immigrants the right to vote, so it's already not a fair election. But if
this election interference too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing to Trump. When you're trying to take your opponent, your front runner of your other party off the ballots and stuff, that's nothing but election interference. Mm-hmm. All these court cases, this is election interference. They can try to say all day long that it's not. This is election interference. They're already doing it. And I think the reason they're doing this because so many people have woke up to what happened in 2020. Their eyes are open. It's like, oh no, we're not gonna let that happen again. So now they're trying to find other ways to stop him. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna say this. And look, I think they're gonna go to any means to stop him. I really do. I hate to say it, but I do.
Right. Even drastic ones, if you get I feel you. Now I got this one last one, Pop, and I'm not gonna give you a announcement. I ain't gonna even let you see it. I'm just gonna put it on the screen because it's gonna be
you just giggling. Let me see what's going on. Got me nervous.
It's going to be about this person that I definitely want to hear you talk about. Here we go.
The Republican Party's tactic is to try to win back the White House in 2024 and win back the Senate and hold on to the House and win state and local elections around the country in different states. And, that tactic is not putting forward good policy that will help people and change their lives for the better. It's not sitting down with people at their kitchen tables and trying to understand them and convince them of their worldview. It's none of that. It's just simply trying to scare people. Just trying to scare people into voting for them. This has been the Republican Party's tactic for decades, certainly as long as I've been alive, and they're continuing to recycle the same old garbage that we've heard before. In 2024, in 2020, in 2016, and elections before that, Republicans always say that if the Democrats win, there's going to be crime, the border's going to be open, there will be mayhem in cities around the country, it'll be utter chaos. And of course, when a Democrat wins, that never comes to fruition because it's utter insanity. And they're using this lie to try to scare people to vote for them at the ballot box. But it's just not true. And they recycle it every single time, and people still fall for the same garbage. And I think that the main Republican point that they're trying to do right now and scare people with is crime. They're trying to say that crime has spiked under Joe Biden, murders are so high, and that there's lawlessness throughout the country because of Joe Biden's weak on crime policy. You've heard it all before. It's all garbage. It's all recycled. So it's always really nice when a Democrat brings the actual facts right to the Republicans, to their faces. Not their made-up facts or alternative facts, as Kellyanne Conway would put it, but like real facts based on data. And then, of course, they have no response. But that is exactly what happened on Fox News today when Democratic surrogate and strategist Kevin Whaling brought the facts to the Republicans live on Fox News. It's certainly something that the usual viewers of Fox News don't normally get when they're listening to Sean Hannity or whatever. But he talked about this. He was asked a question about crime, and his response is fantastic. So I have that clip for you guys today. And then later in the video, we're going to talk about how Republicans continue to perpetuate this lie, talking about a very specific member of Congress that I'm sure you're all familiar with on the Republican side. But let's take a look at that clip right now.
So far, I had to bring it off for a minute. Your look was priceless. You're like, I don't even know what to say.
You know, first of all, this young man, and I'm using that term loosely, this young man needs to stop lying to his followers. Okay, he needs to stop lying to his followers. He said that, Republicans always saying the same talking points that, if Democrats get in office, it's going to be open borders. Duh, there's open borders. There's been over 8 million people came across this border up under Joe Biden. The Republicans not lying about that. There's going to be more crime. Duh, more people have been killed and murdered up under why Joe Biden hasn't been in office. What part of that you not get? Things are going to be higher. Again, like I said before, rent used to be $1,200, $1,300 in Atlanta for a 2-bedroom. It's over $2,000 now. The average, the doggone minimum wage, I think, I don't even know. Is it $10 an hour? I don't even know. But
North Carolina.
Okay, well, I don't know. I just gave them $10. Even at $10, 10 times 40 is 400. You're not gonna bring that 400 home because they're gonna tax it and stuff. So you might be lucky. If you're lucky, you come home with 280. How you gonna 280 times 4 is what? That ain't even $1,000. Well, it's a little over $1,000. How you gonna pay a $2,000 apartment with $1,000 to bring it home? And you wanna say things aren't worse up on the, you know why people think things are good up on the Democrats? Because Democrats may give people who's on Section 8 food stamps. I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. Section 8 food stamps, Medicaid, they might get them 20, 30, 40 more dollars. So it might seem like it's good to them. But for people who are out here working and have to pay the taxes that's paying for all this stuff, it is not good for them. It is not good for them. I mean, he talking about some kitchen table conversation. These are kitchen table conversations. Because when I'm bringing $1,000 home a month and my rent is $2,000 and I gotta go get another job to try to make up for that $2,000, and then I have children at home that I can't spend time with because I'm trying to work so hard just to pay the rent. Yeah, it's a problem. But when you have these girls over here who's not, and listen, everybody needs help sometimes. I get it. I told you one time when my doctor, remember I told you I had to have my blood because I'm anemic. And at the time I was paying Blue Shield, Blue Cross through my myself. So they came out with Peach Care for Kids that you can get through the lottery in Georgia. And I was working at the time for Griffin Tech, working for the state Griffin Tech, and you can't get, when you work for like State Board and Griffin Tech the state, you can't get Peach Care for Kids because it's funded through the lottery. I don't know why not. So I was like, darn. So when I stopped doing my contract with Peach Care for Kids, with Griffin Tech, and I was still just working for the state board, I was able to give him Peach Care for Kids. It wasn't but $15 a month funded through the lottery. I took my butt down here to Grady. You understand what I'm saying? Grady County Hospital. I was going to Grady County Hospital. Try to get me, was able to go back to my doctor. And I'll never forget. I needed a surgery. And I told my doctor, my gynecologist, at the time I told her, listen, I don't have the insurance for it. She said, listen, I'm going to get you some emergency Medicaid for 90 days because you got to have this surgery. I don't know how she did it. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know how she did it. I don't know what she said, what she did. But for 90 days, she was able to get me that surgery I need. After that 90 days was up, that insurance was gone. Guess what I did? Started going back, taking my butt to Grady Hospital. So I know everybody needs help sometimes. I'm not saying that. You understand what I'm saying? But what I am saying is this. When a party is started giving you hands out every day, every year, all year, this, and that, of course you're not going to bite the hand that feeds you. Of course it might look good to you. Of course it might look like the Democrats are doing a good thing. But for those of us who are working, the Democrats is fucking screwing us. I mean, what is he talking about? You don't get this rosy cheeks away and sit down, child. Bye.
And the thing is, when they're talking about crime, I'm gonna let him go ahead and finish it. Then we'll pick back up on that crime thing as well because it's so many layers to that here. So let's go back to this Democrat that supposedly owned these women outnumbered.
It's good advice to Democrats. Listen, the president had all major police chiefs to the White House just last month. Violent crime is across the board down in most major cities, and that's something we need to talk about, certainly, as Democrats. Listen, the highest jump in the homicide rate, the murder rate in this country annually happened in the last year of the Trump administration. It didn't happen in any of the Biden years over these last 3 years. So again, the president is running on his record. Donald Trump is a different situation than 2016, has a record he's got to defend as well.
I consider illegal fentanyl brought in by drug cartels and
Yeah, that was fantastic. Did you see how all of those Republican hosts at the end there tried to jump on him at once? They're all just like yapping in his ear because they just hate. They hate when facts are actually on the Fox News network. They love to push their talking.
Okay.
Yeah, because I need to answer that. I need to answer that. I can't hold it. I can't hold it because see, this is where the lies and the misinformation and the deception come in. And this is what I don't like about Democrats. One thing I can say about me, you, and other conservatives that I know, listen, like it or not, we're going to tell you what it is. If Trump do some BS, we're going to tell you Trump did some BS. And like I said about Marjorie Taylor Greene need to get somewhere and pump her brakes. We ain't got but one seat in the House over everybody else. Get somewhere and pump your brakes. And I like Marjorie Taylor Greene, but you got to call it out what it is. Mm-hmm. This man said that there was more murders and stuff and crime upon the Trump last year in office. Okay, that's what he said, right? Which is 2020, right? Mm-hmm. He's absolutely right. Well, what he's not telling is during 2020, Black Lives Matter was out there tearing up and killing everything. Antifa was out there tearing up and killing everything. The Summer of Love was out there tearing up and killing everything. See, this is the part they're leaving out. This is the part he's leaving out. He's trying to act like that Trump last year in office, everybody was just killing and stuff. No, let's call it what it is. Democrat cities made these old progressive bullcrap laws where you can go up in these stores and steal what you want. Don't nobody mess with you. Let them just go in there and steal what you want. And let me tell y'all, so I'm mad right now. Didn't nobody bring me a Chanel bag. I'm just gonna call it what it is. But with that being said, go up in there, get what you want to get, burn down stores, jump on people, shoot people, kill people. This was all up under George Floyd being, and because of what happened to George Floyd, and they was allowing all this stuff to happen to make Trump look bad, to make his administration look bad, to make his last year look bad. So for this man to up and say, and this rosy cheeked little boy, that's talking about some, when they bring facts. No, he didn't bring facts. He said something, but he didn't tell why all of this was going on. You understand what I'm saying? This is what I don't like about the Democrats with these lies stuff. I wish I would have been there talking to him, so I could have broke him down with that lie.
Well, the thing is, Harry talked about they all tried to jump on him, but I watched Harry last night in his live, him and another Democrat, this guy named Parker. They look about alike. They look like they cloned these people because they all kind of sort of look alike to me. And they was double teaming this one conservative last night. But the thing is, what they was wanting to do was hit him back with facts as well. But you notice Harry cut that part off because he didn't want that truth to get out there. And that's the thing, like, I always try to put things in context. I want people to hear the whole thing so they can be able to make so they can make an informed decision. Because you cut off at a certain point, it's like, okay, well, what they said may be true, but the thing is, let's take a consideration when they reporting things to the FBI or the lack thereof. You have places like San Francisco, I believe Los Angeles, different places are not reporting their crime to the FBI. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's about optics, or because they don't want to, even with these sanctuary cities, I heard a lot of those illegals that come over here, they are doing crime. They're just not reporting it. So if you don't report something, it's not going to be a part of the data, which is going to make the numbers look low. But the fact of the matter is, people in their lived experiences in their neighborhoods, they're saying different. The people are telling you when they're interviewing all these people, the three top things that people are concerned about is the economy, the border, and crime. If those things were not prevalent in their neighborhood, why are they talking about those things? Why? In this montage you watched of these people talking a minute ago, they kept bringing up inflation, the border, and crime because it's an issue. Now, Harry lives in probably in a gated community, and, it's probably a privileged child because, he's about ever since he's been alive, he's only been alive 22 years. Dude, you don't know what you're talking about. You haven't been alive long enough to really know what's really, really going on out here. And you're being paid to deceive people.
Wait a minute, he's 22.
That's it.
So he ain't been born but 3 years. Okay, I'm listening.
Right, for 3 years. And the thing is, like, his mom and dad are big Democrat, contributors.
Oh,
They've been
okay.
for a long time. So they was able to get him this cushy job. Everybody have a problem with nepotism, and with Trump kids working in the White
With
House,
Trump,
it's a problem.
exactly.
But when it
Exactly.
comes to him, because his parents were very, involved in Democrat, I almost said plantation, but that. But it was able to get him a cushy job where he could sit at home and basically make money hand over fist. I was on this live the other night, and he had so many people cash apping him hundreds of dollars.
Ooh.
And I'm saying to myself,
hey, my followers, what's going on? Y'all what's up? They cash asking him hundreds of dollars. Y'all didn't see my PayPal? What is the problem around here?
yes. And so they sending him all this money, but I'm saying to myself, I thought y'all don't like capitalism.
Thank you.
I wonder, are you going to pay taxes on this money that's being sent to your Cash App? Because Cash App is pretty much cash. So are you going to give record for that? What I'm saying is rules for thee and not for me. And that's the thing that I have a problem with. Like, they get on here, they put out these lies. And again, it's so easy to go on the computer. It's more on computers and on your phone than porn and rap music, in my opinion. You can find some information out there if you look. And I think that, Harry, they bank on people, the Democrats, they bank on people being low informed, but they'll tell you you're undereducated or you're uneducated because you're not saying what they're saying. No.
And you're not believing you're not buying what they're selling.
Right. Can't buy it, and because right now, if, in my opinion, and before we come to a close, because we went a little longer than we normally do, it's all good.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that if Trump doesn't win in 2024, in my opinion, I'm not saying he's a savior, he's not God, but I don't believe that if he doesn't win, I believe this country as we know it, corporation, whatever you want to call it, is over.
It is. And let me tell you something. It's really over now. It's really over now. We're on life support. I'm just going to be honest with you. We're hanging on life support and hoping somebody will, give us a little breath. That's what it is, because we're on life support. This country is really unrecognizable. First of all, our First Amendment right give us the freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and give us all of that. Our Second Amendment right give us the protection of it. The Constitution give us, the Constitution give us so many rights, right? But these people who are in office, first of all, we're never supposed to have a government this big. Right. We need a smaller government. And I don't understand for the life of me why Democrats want more government. The more government you have, the more people in your business, the more people telling you what you can and can't do. But when you're told that you cannot call and listen, y'all get mad at me all y'all want, I'm just going to put it out there. When you're telling me that I have to call a man a woman because that's what he wants to be called, you're taking away my rights and my freedom. What makes what he wants so much more important than my rights and my freedom? I'm not going to disrespect this person, because you can be who you want to be. You can live your life how you want to live it. Even if I don't agree with your life, I'm going to respect you as a person. You can still be a great person. I don't have to agree with everything you do or say or whatever. But to try to force me to align with stuff that I don't believe in, come on now. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. So this country is not what it really is unrecognizable. It's unrecognizable. Then they constantly telling our young ladies, kill your baby, have an abortion. You don't have to do this. Instead of telling them, listen, you're right, it's your body, your choice. But because it's your body, your choice, take care of your body, because you only have one. First of all, if you're going to have sex, why not make the guy use protection? Do you know, y'all so worried about getting rid of babies. What about these diseases that you can't get rid of? That's what they need to focus on. What about these diseases that you cannot get rid of? What about these diseases that shorten your life? What about these diseases that can cause you to go blind, cause you to go sterile? Let's talk about that instead of just saying, well, if you don't want the baby, get rid of it. See, this is what gets me so upset about the Democratic Party. You're not telling these young ladies the truth. And I'm telling you this from a woman who has had an abortion. You're not telling these young ladies the downfall of having an abortion is just get rid of your baby. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? You can get diseases. Something can happen during that abortion. Well, guess what? 5 years from now, when you want to have a child, when you meet that guy, you get married, you want to have a child. Guess what? I have an abortion. Now I can't have one because I got clipped the wrong way.
Right.
You're not telling all of these things.
Right.
Birth control is free. When I was out there, We used to have to go pick up birth control. You can sit at home now, order their delivery. You don't even have to go out your house. You know, so it's so many things that I know we wasn't talking about this. I'm sorry,
No,
but
you're fine.
yeah, it just the Democratic Party just makes me sick with the lies they tell these people out here. It's just disgusting to me. But
absolutely. But this is democracy for you. Like, you know, democracy is a small minority, but they make rules for the majority. And that's
absolutely.
what if you look at when you hear it on both sides of Republicans and Democrats talk about our democracy, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about their very thing because the government is for the people by the people. It's supposed to be. It's time for us to take our country back. See, this is what happens when we relinquish our rights to them. We give up. See, they're not really taking our
We're giving them up.
We're giving it up because they throw us out here, but they throw fear out here. They do something to make us get all nervous, like what they did with, you know, the pandemic. Had everybody so scared. You're going to kill grandma. You're going to kill grandpa, and all this and the third. Knowing that, you know, it had a 97, 98% recovery rate, unless you had underlying, you know, stuff going on. But they had
I got asthma. I got underactive thyroid. I got a plaque too. I had COVID 3 times. I'm just being honest. I've had COVID 3 times. 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Count them 3. Now my dad caught COVID, and he actually, because when he caught COVID, he was like 90. He actually had to go into the hospital. They had him in ICU, but he was older.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was older, so he ended up going to ICU. We had to put on our PPE and all that before we can go in there and see him. And he was in the hospital about a week, and he even came out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you're right. Because even though he was 90, I guess he's kind of healthy to be 90. You know, whatever. Right. Besides the fact that he fell and broke his neck that time. But he, like you say, it affects everybody different. It affects everybody different. But we getting pushed into a corner. And we're letting the government, who's supposed to work for we the people, and I tell people all the time, the government work for us. We don't work for the government. And we need to remind the government, guess what? We hired you and we can fire you. We're sick of this. We're tired of this. You work for us. My taxpayer money that I give you. And it's another thing. If my taxpayer money, why are you making more than me? I'm just saying, you got more money than me and I'm the one working.
And that's my point, because I feel like this is that when it come down to it, they can set it up who they want to be in office and who they don't. We've seen that happen. So that's what I'm saying. If the government's by the people, for the people, then really truly let the legislators, but everybody's so corrupt these days. Like, I just like sometimes like, just start over. You know, let's just start over. Get rid of everybody up there. Let's do voting, because it shouldn't cost so much to become a public servant.
Thank you.
It shouldn't cost millions of dollars to become a public servant. If people in your area know who you are and they want to sign and send you up there, that's the way it should be. You got to put commercials out all over the state, especially if you have a district. As long as you got the information out to your district, you know, hitting the ground, boots on the ground, the way they had to do it back in the day before there was television and all this stuff. Yeah. We have to get back to where people actually had to work for it. Now, people know right. Now they know they can just throw out a commercial, slam it the other side, or something that's emotional, and they're going to automatically get the vote. You know, like Kamala Harris don't have sense that God gave a billy goat, but because she was black, Obama pushed every color besides black, if you get my drift, and you better not say that about St. Obama. But we're in the cult because we support Trump, but yet we'll call Trump out on his foolishness and say, Trump, you need to shut up sometime. Be quiet. You talk too much.
What we telling him about 2020? We over that now. We tired of that. That's in our rearview mirror. We listen. We tired of that. That's in our rearview mirror. We got to focus on 2024. We know what happened in 2020. We saw what happened. We got to focus on it and make sure it don't happen again. We tired of you up there crying about 2020. At least I am. It's over.
I've been tired. I think I got tired of hearing that like in 2022. I was like, okay, Trump, we got to move on, man.
I was tired of 2021, but I let them have a moment.
Because in 2021, I was like, you know, I was still pissed myself because I was like, they did us a wrong deal. We know that was right. I'm like, and then the way y'all trying to make these January 6th look, you know, and like
now
Trump
I don't like.
You know how it was Trump's fault. First of all, these are adults that went down there, and some of these older people, 60 and 70-year-old people, just went in there, didn't do anything wrong, and you went after them. Like, come on, man. Now, if somebody tried to go after Joe Biden because they wanted to go after him for these documents, but we can't go after him because he wouldn't come off right in the jury. They will feel sorry for him because he's not mentally there.
But he's running the country. But this is the president. This is the person that you tell me is the president of the United States of America, and who's running again to be the president of the United States of America. But he's not competent enough to stand trial. But he can run this country, and y'all want to keep playing with me. Y'all better stop playing with me. If y'all don't stop playing with me and just call a spade a spade, I don't know who running the country. Wink, wink. But it showing up ain't Joe Biden.
It's that man
Come on now.
that tan suit.
I'm just talking about the Easter oyster. What the heck is an Easter oyster? Did you hear about the Easter oyster? Y'all better stop playing with me. And this is what y'all telling me the best that we got in the United States of America. And this man up here talking about the Easter oyster. Y'all gotta stop playing with me. Listen. Dante, I'm looking and I keep saying popcorn and pajamas coming up, but I'm not seeing Dante come up at all.
Because I get to talking and forget to change it.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. Now I've been talking 5 minutes and I've been okay. Thank you. Good.
Because I've been talking. I don't listen.
You like me when we be on them live and you be telling me.
But you read the comments. See, that's why you notice it. Because see, you would tell I don't read.
Oh, okay.
That's why you probably notice like it ain't changed. Me, I'm like,
yeah, I'm like this thing. You're saying the same thing. Wait a minute now. But yeah, but I really enjoyed this. I really did. And listen, I know we went over, but
no, we really did because we made it up for last week. We didn't come on last week, so y'all the show. It's like basically y'all got one and some change from last week, so that's what it's about.
Can I say this before we go?
Sure.
Listen, y'all. I say this all the time. All jokes aside. Listen, in my opinion, we're in a battle for the soul of this country. We are in a fight against good, against evil. We're in a fight for not just, listen, it's not just about your rights. It's about your children's rights, your grandchildren's rights, and your great-great-grandchildren's rights. If you want your children and your grandchildren to be able to live half of the freedoms that we have, you have to make sure you vote for the person who you think is going to do that. And I'm going to be honest with you. Y'all know I don't think it's Joe Biden or the Democrat Party. We got to make sure when we vote, we put the right people in our local elections, in the Senate, and in the House who's going to uphold that Constitution. We need people in the House in the Senate who's going to uphold that Constitution and our constitutional laws instead of trying to take our rights. They like to say Republicans are taking our rights, but Republicans are not the ones trying to take our freedom of speech, our religious rights, our 2A. They're not the ones trying to demand us that we stay in the house or wear masks or taking people's name. They're not the one doing that. So when you vote, and I pray that you vote for President Trump, I really do. Think about your children and your grandchildren in the kind of world you want them to live in. And that's all I got to say.
I love it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? America first. You know, we don't mind
America first.
Else. We don't mind, but it's time for us to take care of home first. We have been letting home slack a long time. And it's not we the people, it's them. And we need to keep them in check, you know, because we can figure it out down here, but we need to get them in check because they've gotten too big and we need to, as old people say, bring them back down to size because they don't got too big for their britches. So again, everybody, we thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another show. Y'all, we had to do we winged this one. We didn't have nothing planned, but y'all see we come together. It was really good, you know. And so next week it may be a little bit more. I don't know. I kind of like the way we did today.
I like the off the cuff too.
Yeah,
Me
off the cuff. Nobody had time to prepare. It's just like everything you got was organic. It was nothing, you know, like, yeah. So I love it. So thank y'all for checking out the PPP show. You can go check Popcorn and Pajamas out on TikTok. Her information is right here. You know, so there it goes right there. And she does also have a YouTube channel. You can check it out here as well. And you want to go ahead and send us some, you know, some coins, you know, them going to get our PayPal back up.
They're talking about they sending little cherry cheek boy hundreds of dollars. What is going on, Ryan? Maybe I need to put some cherry on my cheek.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you something. One thing about Popcorn and I can say is that if you send $1, she'll appreciate it like it's 100. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the amount, it's a thought. It's the fact that you would consider. Nobody has to do anything, even like coming to our lives, coming to watch these videos. You don't have to do it. So we definitely appreciate it. You know, we're definitely going to try to grow over here even more because I just have to say, me and Popcorn, we kind of like, we're censored on TikTok because if we could really say what we want to say on TikTok, we'll probably be a whole lot bigger. TikTok, I mean, You know, my sister, she didn't know she's already an influencer. I had to tell her that the other day.
I didn't know. Thank you. I did not. Yeah, I did not know that. My little brother told me. He said, "Well, we were talking one day." He said, "Well, you know, you're an influencer." I was like, "What?" He's like, I did not know it.
Yeah, you got over 100K followers. Yeah, you're an influencer. So
I didn't know it.
So she's doing big things, you know, and she's got little brother tagging along with her, you know, and I appreciate that. And hopefully
we tag along with each other.
We do. I mean, you know what? Hey, it is what it is. I mean, big sis, I appreciate everything you do, you know, and it wouldn't be the PPP show wouldn't be what it is without popcorns and pajamas. So
without President Dante.
That's what I'm saying. We got to have it together. Everything got to be together for it to work, you know?
Yeah.
But we're gonna go ahead and go get the rest of our day handled. But we'll definitely see y'all next week. And she anybody tell her she already did it. So y'all, when she normally do this, that means it's over. So I'm doing this. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
See you next time. Bye.